And that 5 goals is a huge margin for the Eagles in their maiden year to overcome. Negri off the half-back line. Floats one in. Hogg's got the run of the football. Off the fingers, it's Kennedy. Gets it over now to Morris. Thought about Grimwood. Kicks in long. Up towards full forward. Barch! Well, the big fellow had 3 grabs. 1, 2, and 3. He finally got it. And this could be game, set and match if the 22-year-old Darren Barch puts it through the middle. Towards the lake end. Wind assisted. Oh, the kick was very tentative indeed. It looked like a kick that was going to put a team into a grand final, and it only registered 1 point.
Oh, it was a bad one. There's the shot again. 1, 2, 3 grabs the big fella. He wandered straight down to full forward. The start of the final turn. The plan was clear. He's certainly been involved in play every time it comes down there. On that occasion, he did everything right except the kick. He hung back on it. He just poked at it rather than kicking right through it. And the result was fairly evident.
Well, the Bloods have had every answer. They lead by 31 points. Lynch straight down the middle. Tries to pick out Negri. Gribble. Half pass out the pack. Taken by Barch and turned Mellor. Snapshot by Greg Mellor. Offline.
Well, he had all the time in the world, David, but I don't think there was anyone around there to tell him to just steady a moment. Got it onto the boot very quickly after receiving it. But once again, Barch was involved, and, well, he just had the ball at the wrong angle. It skewed the wrong way.
Well, that's a terrible kick in.
Well, it's an absolute shocker.
Lynch, I think he was going for the lead on the outer side of Clem. Fitzsimmons couldn't believe his luck when he turned around and the ball fell in his lap. He's only 45 metres out. Kick number 14. Fitzsimmons yet to kick a goal. That's right through the middle. West Adelaide made them pay. And it could be a payment that puts the Bloods into the final. They move on to 10-14 to 4-12, 8 minutes into the final quarter of the Mothball semi-final.
38 points is a huge margin to make up at this stage, but look at Lynch's kick in. Did everything wrong. Fitzsimmons couldn't believe his luck. So he returned it straight back over the fullback's head, put it through for his first goal, and, well, 38 points. That's a heck of a margin at this stage.
9-minute mark of the final term in this first semi. Micken wins the tap down, taken by Fuller. Hurry kick to half forward. Clem forcing his way through with Simon Byrne. Good desperation, slung the hand pass out to Micken. In turn, here's McKinnon. Now West have some runners. Carlson near the point of the square. One bounce for Darren Carlson. He streams through half forward, runs to 50 on the angle, but a poor foot pass. And he can't believe it. He did all the hard work, but the kick wasn't so good.
No, the kick was an absolute shocker. As you say, he did everything right, but then couldn't hook it around at all.
Guy a clearing kick. Negri up high. Here's Carlson. Can he redeem the situation? Pulls it around the body. Spear in defence. Cruel bounce. Taken by Gribble. Snapshot was smothered. Spear accepted there from Lindsay. Here's Lynch in defence. It was touched off the boot. Or was it? No, it wasn't. Haylock, the mark. Knocks it up to centre wing on the grandstand side. And a great final turn by Simon Byrne. He takes the mark, grandstand centre wing.
This has been doing well back there, hasn't he? And I think this is his 10th kick coming up, but he certainly quieted Primke down.
Very fine young player. Primke had a marvellous second quarter. Lynch farms it out. Well done, Swars. Got it over to Fuller. The Eagles into attack again, up towards the half-forward line. Trakula, about 80 metres out. Can Morphett kick his 100? Oh, 50 metres. Well, Goss obviously didn't come back quick enough. And if the Eagles ever needed a goal in their maiden year, they need it right now. Umpire Leslie Harrison has brought Goss back to the edge of the square. Kevin Morris cannot believe it as he shakes his head in disgust. But Trakula has got a big chance to at least make the Eagles' feathers ruffle a little bit in this last quarter. Pops it through. Their fifth goal, his first. It's the first goal from them since the 28-minute mark of the second quarter, and they're only their fifth for the game.
Yes, they've been very hard to come by goals for the Eagles. You see Ronnie Fuller directs this ball beautifully. He always does that, does Fuller. places it nicely for Tricula. The efforts of Goss, not enough to spoil, although gave a little bit of a red-hot ear to Tricula, and after his 15-metre advantage, he's popped it through for his first goal. But the advantage is still well in favour of the Eagles of West Adelaide.
32 points, in fact, Robbo. Centre field. Fitzsimmons, who's been busy, on towards Banfield. To inside 50 now. Outnumbers Barch. The runner is Carlson. Left boot around the body now. Grosser in the square. Also Millor. And the mark by the 19-year-old. His 5th.
Well, there we see it in replay. Drifting across the front of the pack, Mellor. But importantly, once again, a good move by Kevin Morris at the start of the quarter to put Barch down in that forward pocket. And he's been involved in just about every forward movement that the Bloods have made in this final term.
Well, there's not much of him, but he finds the footy certainly. Greg Mellor, his 15th kick coming up. He's got 2 goals. And this to put the question beyond doubt. 10 metres out, virtually directly in front. And he finds the goal. 3 goals for Mellor. West out to a 38-point lead at the 12-minute mark of the final term.
Yes, it's all over bar the shout in the second half of this season's been a beauty. There's Barch. We said he's been involved in just about every forward movement. Final term. Carlson hooked it in. Grosser did the right thing and just did enough to keep Guy at bay to allow Mellor to mark. And he kicked Trilly for his 3rd goal. Fine young player.
11-14 plays 5-12. 13 minutes into the final quarter. And it's West Adelaide by plenty. Micken against Negri at the bounce. Negri gets the tap away. Morris comes in for the football. Gets it out wide to the running Hogg. Hogg is clear. Hooks around the corner. Half forward line. Guy back there, but it's Patterson who takes the mark. And the shame of it all is Scott Morphett, languishing at the other end of the ground, may not get to kick his 100th goal. Patterson is 55 out. Gets a lead from Micken, but he's going in long. In fact, he's kicked into the man. That was a tired kick, and that looked to be deliberate, but the umpire didn't see it that way. Schwarz went for the safety of the line, but at this stage, I think you'd have to say that the Eagles need a miracle. Throw in, half forward, right flank. Divine intervention. Negri gets it down. Neve. Kennedy. Out wide to Patterson. He butters up for another one. Tumbles one in towards the half-forward line. Lindsay gets it away, and the Eagles are running through Tottenham.
Through towards centre field now. Heavy bodywork there by Wayne Wiedemann. That was ambitious tactics straight in front of the umpire. He slung McKinnon to the ground. Up towards half-forward. Diving attempt there by Grosser. Ball spills loose. Here's Gribble. He's got a player loose in Patterson in turn. Slick hand pass sets up the skipper, Grosser. He runs to 30 metres. He chips. And he misses to the left. West move to 11-15. Eagles 5-12.
Yes, just missed to the left, but a very good bit of work there by Patterson. A very slick handball to put Grosser away. But unfortunately, he couldn't quite make it.
Our statistician tells me I called him Grimwood a little while ago. Well, of course, Grimmy was a Magarey medalist for West Adelaide about 30 years ago, and that was about the only similarity, except they both rode for West Adelaide. Neve at centre half back. Wobbles one up towards Primke. Simon Byrne, as the boys have told you, have done extremely well in this last quarter to keep Primke down. Out wide is Fuller. The run is on from James, half forward line. He's going to bolt. Runs through the 50-metre mark. Gets a lead now. Here's a chance for Debayes. 35 out. Oh, gee, wanted to pass it off, and the kick is a shocker. Clem. Walk in for an open goal. That's his 2nd. The Eagles are still flying, but only just, as they trail 6-12 to 11-15 at the 16-minute mark of the semi-final.
It's a belated goal to the Eagles as Debayes comes through the half-forward line. Well, gets it across to Tobias, in fact, from James. He clears a couple of players. The kick wobbles forward. A chance for Clem. And interestingly, you'll see that after this goal was kicked, he went back to Scotty Morphett and almost said, sorry, mate, I couldn't get to you to kick 100.
Well, Morphett was hoping, like anything, the hand pass was there. Free kick to Negri. Up towards half forward. Chance for Morphett. He's inside 50. Slings the hand pass out of the pack. Straight towards Hogg, though. Back to Schumann. The defensive West have lifted in the second half. And here's Kennedy on the far side. Michael Kennedy, his 11th kick coming up. And he's had 2 handballs. 12 handballs, in fact, for Michael Kennedy. Kicks to centre field. In front was Grosser. Beautifully read by Fitzsimmons, the opportunist. Breaks the tackle. Good balance. Runs through the centre. Stabs the ball in towards Modra, who's on a long lead. With one hand, couldn't gain the mark. Support coming from Morris. 40 metres out. Long kick towards goal. And he's kicked it. 6th kick, first goal for Philip Morris. And West boot clear. They're 12th at the 17-minute mark.
Yes, and just as well he got that one too, I would suggest. Good work by Tony Modra. Knew where he was. The talking was obviously on. Made up his mind he was going to go for goal, but just as well, because Big Barch was in the square on his own. It was a very positive shot. He almost guided that one all the way through. He's a happy boy, and he goes over to congratulate and thank Tony Modra.
No doubt it's a West Adelaide, North Adelaide grand final. 17 minutes into the final quarter. West Adelaide cruising. At the bounce, it's Micken against Negri. Line ball. Micken at the second attempt. Mellor now out in front of Lindsay. Caught on the wrong foot, which is the right foot. Modra! Beautifully put. He was really galloping into the open space. And that's exactly where a full forward wants it. Eye height and out in front. Tony Modra, who's booted 3. 7th kick coming up. West Adelaide doing as it pleases in this last quarter. Nice looking kick, but he's just edged it offline for a point. And I think a perfect fitting now. And not even the West Adelaide supporters would agree, John, if Scott Morphett was get his 100th goal before the game ended.
That'd be great to see. And West Adelaide, as you say, surely looking forward to going into the preliminary final against South next week.
Bloods by 40 points. Totham lays off the hand pass in towards Spear. He finds Strakula at half forward. On towards Spear now, one out. Morphett, you'll never get a better opportunity at full forward. Doubling back. Can he get the mark? No, he can't. And fisted out of bounds by Hogg. But it was a floating ball to take and a very difficult one.
Listen, the crowd in the semi-final today, 15,216 here at the park as we see Scotty Morphett battling hard to try and get that shot for that 100th.
19 minutes, final turn. Lead to West, 40 points. James at ground level. Coming through as Clem taken high with a tackle, but unseen by the umpire. And he'll take control with a bounce. We'll see Sean Blythe coming on. The player to come off, not known as yet. The runner out to do the job, Bob Loveday, the record games holder at West Adelaide. Here's Wiedemann in attack. Can't get rid of the footy. And again, umpire Harrison to take control.
Just over 19 minutes gone in the final term as Robert McKinnon gets to the ground there with a little bit of blood on the face. That was Linda trying to break through, and gee, it's tough and it's hard in there.
Eagles 20 metres out from their goal. Here's Goss in defence. Long clearing kick to open space. First to it will be Haylock, protected here by Negri. Centering hand pass. Bruce Lindsay, centre square. Long kick off the left boot to inside 50. Chance for Morphett. Beautifully read by James. 30 metres out. And the shot towards goal is bouncing through for Matthew James. Belated goal for the Eagles. James kicks his first. The Eagles move to 7-12. West 12-16.
You've got to take your hat off to this Eagles side. They were formed with the Eagles and Woodville getting together as we see Bruce Lindsay putting that ball forward. Morphett in there desperately searching for it, but scouting beautifully was James, and he popped it through for his first. But what a great effort when you stop and think about it. The Eagles in 1991, newly formed side, to get this far has been a very big effort from them.
Well, John, you're never dead until you lie down. They're 6 goals down. Can they do that in the last 10 minutes of the game? I tend to think not. Certainly West Adelaide's playing well as McKinnon gets the ball up towards Carlson. He'll go straight through Geyer. Here's a chance now. Going through is Mellor, gets the handball out. Going through Carlson. Now it's Grimwood, not Grimwood, Grosser. Open goal, and that's it. 12th kick. Grosser boots his third. And finally, West Adelaide has put it beyond the Eagles with their 13th goal.
Well, it doesn't matter what you call him, whether it's Grimwood or Grosser. He got the goal. Barch once again was involved. Grosser thought about the handball, almost run down, but just got the boot to it in time to pick up his third. Let's have a look at it again. Oh, he wants the goal, the skipper. Had a quick look over the shoulder, figured he had enough time as Ronnie Fuller came bearing down. But that's a good goal, and yes, West Adelaide have overcome a very determined Eagles side today. No doubt they'll go into the preliminary final next week.
Good signs for the Bloods. They're finishing off well. Micken leaps high, but Negri won the tap down. Comes towards Tottenham. Here's Grosser on towards Micken. Up to half forward. Now Patterson lopes and takes it on his chest well. He's got two players loose. One Miller, the other Fitzsimmons. Foot pass on now. Modra, long lead provided. Coming through is Schwarz. He's under pressure in defence. Here's a chance for Sean Blythe. Breaks the tackle, but pinned back well. Jars wide to Grosser, but a free kick found. And it goes to the Eagles. Peter Schwarz, the captain, laid to rest.
Yes, he wouldn't be too well there either. Have a look here. You'll see Big Barch coming in. Schwarz goes to the ground with the ball and well hit with the knees up around the head.
Jason Spear on the outer side with some pace. Long kick now. Morphett a chance, but body strength with Bruce Lindner. Play on the call. Here's Simon Byrne. Clearing kick around the body. Up and under kick. Nearly the mark to Spear. Play on the call. Blythe scrambles a 20-metre kick to half forward, but it's jarred out of play.
Well, 22 and a half minutes gone in the final term. Scott Morphett still down there searching for that goal number 100. West Adelaide lead by 40 points.
Scotty Morphett looking a little forlorn. Surely West Adelaide will give him his 100th goal at the 30-minute mark or something. Schwarz needs a runner. Spear can't find it. Wiedemann can't bust his way through the pack. And the umpire will come and ball it up on the half-forward right flank. 23 minutes gone in the final quarter, 13-16. Play 7-12. Even the strength of Wiedemann can't get through young McKinnon. Very strong young man too. Negri tries to fight his way through. Patterson's in there for the Bloods. Finally coming through is De Baez. Gets it out wider now for Clem. De Baez wanted it back in the double play but lost it. Oh, putting his head down was Tottenham. He lost it. Going through strongly, Gribble. Can't get it out. Philip Morris out wider still now. It's Schwarz, not Schwarz. Fuller gets it out to De Baez. Half forward line. Chance for Lindsay. Lindsay gets it out to Wiedemann. Oh, he left the football behind. Byrne bottles it up. Quickly in now is Lindsay. I think the Eagles want to lift and try to get Scotty Morphett his 100th goal. They've got defenders coming up into attack and Neil Baum wants to find somewhere to hide. 24 minutes gone. He sees his season being kicked out the door. A very distressed coach. They just cannot take a trick all afternoon. In fact, the truth is West Adelaide simply have been too good. Neve try to get it back, but the run of Gribble will get it back now to Hogg, and West Adelaide come away once more.
Alan Hogg to half forward. Free kick found to the Eagles. The exuberant Paul Patterson up pretty early and high. And just wrapped up Romano Negri. Here's Geyer up towards half forward. The target Primke over the top Byrne. Loose ball in the pack, but umpire Harrison to separate play.
40 points the difference. We're coming up to the 25-minute mark or into time on of this final term. And West Adelaide going all the way a winner. The big interest lying in Scotty Morphett. Let's hope for his sake and the Eagles he can get number 100.
The Bloods eyeing off a prelim final berth against South Adelaide. The kick to centre field. Loose ball. Here's Mellor, who's been effective. Sweeping hand pass taken on the bounce by Carlson. Long kick from the centre square. One out battle. Micken at full forward. Pushed out by O'Dwyer. Play on the call though. He kicks to the grandstand side. Haylock can't find the football. Now he can. Hand pass was smothered. He's under pressure in defence. In the end he gets it across towards Lynch, who slaps it forward to Schwarz. Just keeps it in play. Here's Jason Spear. Drop punt to grandstand centre wing, but a poor kick. And it's marked by Dean Schumann. His 11th kick coming up. West lead by 40 points. Big lead. Long kick to 50. Numbers with the Eagles, but here's Mellor. Lovely work by Greg Mellor. He threads it towards goal, but just offline.
It's unfortunate for Greg Mellor. He did well. Plenty of skill wrapped up in the young man as he came in hard, bounced off the opponent and headed goalward. Unfortunately, it was just offline. But look at that lead, 41 points in favour of West Adelaide in the first semi-final. They'll go into the prelim next week against the South Adelaide side. But well done to the Eagles in their first year.
Yes, I jumped the gun a bit earlier, John. I said they'd go and play North in the final, but I suppose they've got to beat South first. But they've played extremely well. And the way they're playing, they'll certainly get into the grand final. South will have to lift their game from yesterday. Wiedemann, come on now, come on, Eagles. Can they actually get Scotty Morphett this last goal? Jason Spear puts it up. It's 1-on-1. Lindner against Morphett. Oh, but in defence, it's Simon Byrne. And what a magnificent last quarter he's had. He's marked everything in sight, and he's taken them all one grab. Barch, the big fellow, thumps it out wide. Here's a chance now for Philip Morris. He can go all the way through the 50-metre mark, puts it on its way, but it's a tumble punt kick offline and only 1 point. And I think time is running out, not only for the Eagles, but for Scotty Morphett. We've played 27 minutes.
Des O'Dwyer, 13-18, plays 7-12. The full-back for the Eagles. Favours the outer side. Tobias from the side, but Fitzsimmons a strong mark. He's an opportunist, but he's done many good things this afternoon at ground level. Shane Fitzsimmons. We can see here, took the right on Tobias. Kick to the pocket, and it picks out a teammate in Sean Blythe, who's been used as a tagger this season, Robbo, but he's played pretty well this afternoon.
Yes, he has. He enjoys that extra bit of freedom. He's coming up for his 11th kick, and when you consider he's been often off the bench once or twice, he's also had 4 handballs, so 15 possessions, and he hasn't spent the whole game on the ground, so yeah, he's done well.
He's tucked away on the angle. 45 metres out, deliberate shot from Sean Blythe, looks pretty good. West stream forward, first goal to Blythe. The Bloods move to 14-18. The Eagles 7-12 at the 28-minute mark.
Yes, a 48-point lead at this stage is convincing. There we saw Fitzsimmons, after he'd taken that fine mark, popped it down into the pocket to where Sean Blythe had made position. He went back and put it on its way for his first goal. The 48-point lead by the Bloods, who are finishing this game on with run, is very encouraging for them going into the big final next week.
Certainly right, John. They've played very, very well indeed for the second week in a row. Their effort against Port Adelaide was first class last week. Here's a chance now for Fuller to get it out to James. Could be Morphett's last chance. He's getting back in the pocket. He gets rid of Lindner, or can he? Lindner goes to the line and thumps it across. And once again, Morphett is frustrated by the brilliance of Bruce Lindner. He's played a sensational game in that back line. The first half had to be seen to be believed, the way he met the ball and rebounded from defence. Throw in the forward pocket. Here's a chance now for James. Can't get it clear. Hog in for West Adelaide, and they'll come and bounce the football.
Has he been your best, Robbo, Bruce Lindner?
Oh, Bruce Lindner has played a magic game. He's quietened down a bit in the second half, but certainly in the first he was brilliant. 13 kicks and several of them big booming torpedoes, and he's had half a dozen handballs.
Here's a chance now. Tobias runs the gauntlet. Going through is Haylock. Haylock shoots and goals. Once again, Scotty Morphett watches the ball go over his head. Haylock boots his first, but it's just a dying flutter from the Eagle. 8-12, they trail West Adelaide 14-18.
Well, the Eagles aren't going to lie down. Have a look at them working hard. The handball comes out over the top of Carlson. Couldn't quite get it in. Haylock, with plenty of determination, got it onto the boot. As you say, Scott Morphett there watching it go straight over his head. Pity it hadn't been off of his boot. But, well, the lead now is 42 points in favour of West Adelaide, and we've played 30 minutes.
Approaching full time in the first semi. Barch opposed to Negri. Here's Fitzsimmons with pace over the top. Carlson. Shepherd provided beautifully by Mellor. Carlson unloads from 50. Long kick, but offline. So West moves to 14-19. Eagles 8-12.
Carlson, one of those centre-line players, have been so important to the Bloods in the latter part of this season. But today, certainly in the first half, had their colours lowered by the Eagles, but have come back strong.
He's had 13 kicks. Negri in defence. The big fellow looking for a running player. That's his 9th mark, Negri. The crowd still angling, hoping against all hope that Morphett will get his 100th. But Darren Barch, quite unconcerned, takes a courageous mark. Returns the ball towards the half-forward line. A lot of pushing and shoving. Well done there. Nice mark to Modra. He's already got 3. And the big fellow knows how to handle himself now there in the pack. Just the gentlest of pushes. Destroyed the Eagle defence, and he's got a chance from 40 metres out. His 8th kick, Tony Modra. The young man from Renmark puts it on its way, and that is home for all money. 4th goal. West Adelaide go on their merry way. 15-19 to 8-12 in the mothball semi-final.
Well, there's no doubt about West Adelaide. They wore down a very determined Eagles side, but Barch, after that courageous mark, the pushing and the shoving, Tony Modra, eyes on the ball, strong hands, and goes back and kicks from just inside the 50-metre mark for his 4th goal. And West Adelaide finishing strong and full of run.
Jubilant Tony Modra. 49-point lead now to the Buds at the 32-minute mark now of the final term. With carriage was Banfield. Barch, hurry kick to half forward. Now Miller, who's been exciting in this final term, lays off the hand pass to Carlson. Carlson from 40 metres out and again offline.
Yes, and he's not happy about it either, if you can go by the expression on the face. But as I say, the blood's finishing full of run, and that is a terribly important sign, because there has been a pretty rugged affair out there today, especially in the first half.
So a 50-point lead now to West Adelaide. O'Dwyer to the grandstand side. Heavy bodywork. Carlson just keeps it in the bounds of play. No, he doesn't. So a boundary throw in, tucked away in the pocket. And there's the siren. So the finish of the Eagles for season 1991. But West Adelaide live to next week's prelim final against South Adelaide. Winners by 50 points. Great performance by the Bloods, 15-20, defeating the Eagles 8-12.